To start things off, I wanted to do something a little bit different. I've got a few videos here, so I'll just show them over to you. Have a watch.
Okay.
So play there.
Nelson Abeicón, Uruguay 4, Nueva Zelanda 0.
Yeah, it's a great number. Looks like my debut, is that right?
Yes, yeah, 95 against
95,
Uruguay.
official debut against Uruguay, yeah. Great moment, to be honest, yeah. Incredible. Yeah, great video. I wasn't sure who the first player was, and I saw the long-haired second player, I knew it was me. So, yeah, it's an incredible moment. I remember the tour, you know, it was an incredible tour actually for New Zealand to go across there, and that result, I believe, wasn't the greatest result. I think it was quite a heavy loss to us, but, you know, thinking back now in the football world, it's an opportunity for me to get some minutes on the field and against such a world-class team. I mean, they had a couple of incredible players. It was quite interesting because after the game, we had a couple of days before the next game, which was, I guess, another incredible result for New Zealand. Was a draw 1-1 or 2-2 against Uruguay. So, you know, even if you think of that in today's world, if we could pull off a result like that against Uruguay, it would be incredible. I didn't take the field that day, but after the game, we attempted to try and shake the players' hands. And if I can remember, they were all upset. The crowd was booing. There was a few of the white flags getting flagged around, and my understanding is they hopped on a bus and went to a training session. So they'd absolutely lost the plot, you know, because of the result against little old New Zealand. So it was an incredible tour, and obviously a great moment for myself and my family to wear a fern officially in a football game. Yeah.
All right, I've got another little clip here for you. Okay. So play when you're ready.
Okay, yeah. Awesome clip, yeah. First goal for New Zealand against Oman, I think 1999, potentially on the way to Confederation Cup. Yeah, another incredible tour, I think maybe 5 weeks, you know. So you also don't get that nowadays. And I remember the tour, I had a couple of really good friends on the tour as well. Paul Ulovich was a player that was at my club at the time that travelled with me and was a roommate, and had some great memories, and also some great memories of the tournament, Confederation Cup in Mexico. Played against Brazil, Germany and the USA. One young player there, Ronaldinho, was against us. I was on the field, I think, against Brazil, where he took this free kick and I was in the wall. And I remember him hitting the free kick and just thinking, oh, that's going wide. Turn around and it ripples the net, you know. So, yeah, special moment for us as a country to play Confederations Cup, and enjoyable time as a young footballer, and yeah, great to get a goal and get on the score sheet. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, just on Confederations Cup, I guess, like, how did it feel? Obviously, young lad from New Zealand, you know, football was not the national sport. How did it feel to go up against the likes of Ronaldinho and Brazil and, you know, some of those global superstars early on into your career?
Yeah, look, as a youngster, you watch on TV and you think everything's easy. You know, everyone's got time on the ball, and you think it's going to be a smooth and easy pathway to the top. And playing international football, you know, once you go through the grind and you get older, you learn how difficult it is. Always dreamt of playing for my country and being a professional and playing on the world stage. So that was a great moment for me, walking out there. And really eye-opener against top superstars of the world, but not only admiring their skills and the talent that they bring to it, but also understanding that as a footballer you can match that to a degree, and if you work hard and you do your best, there's no reason why you can't perform at that level also. And you know, thinking back to those games, I thought as a country we performed pretty good. You know, we were made up a lot of amateurs at the time, I would say. But you know, all footballers with a dream of playing at the highest level, and I think the performances also were something to be proud of.
Just on your goal again, what was your favourite goal you've ever scored in your career?
Tough, really, to be honest. I scored a few goals. Not a bad record, you know, not a bad record. But yeah, there's a couple last-minute ones. There's a few overseas. I mean, I guess one moment overseas when I was at Roda, my Dutch club, I was lucky enough to get a hat-trick in a game. So, I'd probably say a moment like that was very special for a Kiwi player in a first division in Europe doing that, and at the same time having a TV crew there from New Zealand doing a sort of tour of the world. So timing was perfect. But there's been a few top goals around, but hard to pinpoint the top.
One last clip here. You've probably seen this footage numerous times, but let's run that one back.
It's a long clip, but it's a good one, yeah. Yeah, amazing time.
Obviously, World Cup there. Winston Reid's goal against Slovakia, first ever point at the World Cup.
Yeah.
What did it mean to you to, be at that World Cup and represent New Zealand on the biggest stage?
Yeah, look, it brings shivers down my spine a little bit watching the goal. Just remember the moment, that went in and celebrating, running to the corner and celebrating, and very close to causing serious injury to the guys. There was a bit of a ditch there or something that was open that we could have potentially gone into. It would have been a nightmare. But looking at the start of the clip as well, obviously lining up for the whistle to kick off and taking the team photo, it brings back memories with a incredible group of guys that were on a pathway to that World Cup was long and many games involved together prior to that, but accumulating, qualifying for the World Cup and that first goal. I mean, special time for New Zealand to be, as a youngster, heard and watched all about 1982 and the feats at the World Cup, and to be part of that was, really special. I mean, representing my family and friends over there and the club that I was from, and everyone along the lines that had helped in that journey. It's something to be proud of, and when the goal goes in and you get the first point ever at the World Cup is something really special. So, and things just went away that way. Great cross from Shane Smelts. The timing is perfect, and it really rattled I think Slovakia and the world, to be honest. A little bit, and I guess leads on to the other two great results in that group, and something special that we can all look back on. And
what were some of your other sort of favourite memories or moments looking back at that World Cup campaign?
I guess probably the golden moment for a lot of people in Sport New Zealand is the Bahrain game. When you think back to that day and what happened and leading up to that, we qualified pretty well, played away to Bahrain in a game that was really intense, and the dream's always in the back of your head, but knowing the difficulty of getting to World Cup was so intense, and to come away from that game with a really favourable result that keeps us alive for that next leg, and and then trying all the conversations going on about, we need to be playing in Invercargill, it's got to be cold, how can we get some sort of advantage against this team? And we're in that bubble of being on that tour, and I think the beauty of what I remember is that just the country's momentum getting behind it, the supporters in that, and turning up to Wellington that day and walking out, prior to the kickoff, just when you walk around and have a look at the field and that, the supporters are just, it's incredible, that you can just feel the momentum going, and you look at a lot of friends and family, my immediate family, my wife and that were all down there, mum and dad, sisters and that were there, friends, really close friends were there, all made that trip down. I had friends that had taken a 7 a.m. train to get there at 7 p.m. to make it to the 7:30 kickoff, so the dedication of these people to, not just friends, but everyone around the country to get there and to be involved in something that could, sort of change time and change history for New Zealand was really special, and leading and walking out, to the first whistle and hearing the crowd. And when I talk to a lot of people about that day, they all remember where they were, whether they were there or watching it or what happened. It was a moment in time for history of New Zealand that was really special. So to be a part of that was incredible. To be part of a group of guys that really stuck together, really camaraderie there was incredible. They all knew each other. I mean, on tours leading up to that. Everyone wanted to be there. Everyone wanted to play for the national team. Everyone enjoyed being those 2 or 3 weeks that you're away from your club. You're joining the national team. You're playing international football, friendlies or qualifiers. You know, you look back now and you think it's a great story for Netflix. You know, but along the way, you never picture exactly how it's going to go. But it's always easy to look after and go, actually, yeah, it was going really well. But you know, and then in the game, moments went our way. Obviously, the penalty, you know, the goals and that. You know, but you know, if you put your football hat on and thinking about how the game actually went, it was quite even. You know, it wasn't a total surprise to get through. So obviously, it was a rock for the world and for Bahrain and that. But for us, it was special. And there were moments that night afterwards. You know, getting back on the bus to make our way back to the hotel where the bus couldn't move because of the supporters and that, and you know, just people having the time of their lives, you know, and you know, catching up with friends, family, and the supporters after the game was special, and knowing what we'd done, and you know, that sort of effect we had on the country was really incredible. Yeah.
Mm. And you mentioned it's one of those moments that everybody sort of knows where they were or what they were doing afterwards. I certainly remember what I was doing and celebrating and everything. Yeah. But as a player, you know, sort of being on that pitch, being inside the cauldron of Sky Stadium, like how did that feel after the final whistle blew?
It is all over!
Yeah, pretty intense, you know. I mean, you know, as a player leading up to the game, you need to get in your zone. You need to get in that area where you've got a job to do. You know, you're there to you enjoy a little bit. You know, you have a walk around beforehand. It's all great, but you know, there's a lot at stake, especially in that game. But you get into that area, you focus on what you need to do as a player, but also as a team for everyone, and you know, the staff and everything. Everyone is behind, preparing for a good moment and hoping it goes well. So, you know, I guess as the game went on further and further, you start to realise where there's breaks in the game that, you know, the clock is ticking down, you know, and it's the slowest clock in the world, you know. It's just taking its time to get those last 5 or 6 minutes down. And yeah, I think when the final whistle, I mean, it's hard to understand. I think I probably ran around like a chicken without a head, you know, but you know, it was pretty worth it, you know, to just, you know, getting to celebrate with the guys that we've been on the journey with, you know, the staff and everyone, and then seeing the people in the crowd and the family in the crowd that have supported or us along that journey and through our whole careers and that, you know, and the messages we got were incredible. So yeah, a time to really fondly look back on, and incredible moments that can cherish forever. Yeah.
A little bit of a pivot now, but you know, in your illustrious playing career, you've racked up the most amount of caps out of any men's footballer, not only in New Zealand, but in the whole Oceania region, which is quite remarkable, really. So did you ever anticipate that you'd be in this position come the end of your playing days?
No, I don't think you do, really, to be honest. You know, I mean, it's obviously immensely proud of that, and, you know, to fly the Kiwi flag wherever I've played or wherever I've travelled, you know, that's part of who I am. But you know, early on, I dreamt of being a pro footballer, playing for my country, playing at the World Cup, scoring every game. You know, as I said earlier, everyone always thinks it's possible and quite easy, but it's difficult. And you know, to be able to rack up that many caps, and you know, I love playing for the country. I love to be available, and so many great memories. You know, to have that record is, yeah, for me, for my family, is proud. But yeah, always looked at it, you know, one game at a time, one tour at a time. Just got to work away, and looking back there, so many games with so many friends. I mean, one of the greatest things is that you create these relationships with everyone in the team and players that come and go, and you know, that length of career you go through. So many players that get their debut and then finish their career, retire, but you're still sort of clipping along, you know. So blessed to be able to have done that, to be involved in some huge tournaments, you know, Confederation Cup, World Cups, you know, at a club level, FIFA Club World Cups, you know, unbelievable moments. And the friendships that you create from those times is, you know, really special to me, and having family with me on those moments, you know, support of my wife Marisa, the kids now, my 2 boys now, that, you know, every now and then they'll see a video or wonder what's going on. You know, it's great to have those stories to be able to tell. And
when you were coming onto the scene and for the All Whites, you know, a large number of that squad were amateur, semi-pro, you know, and sort of fast forward to now and the crop of players that are coming through, and young guys like, you know, Libby, Tyler out, you know, in the top leagues around the world at such a young age. What do you think about the sort of evolution of the All Whites squad?
Yeah, look, that was the reality of football back when I started, you know, many years ago. Amateur football was New Zealand, and the players were doing their best to make a living and playing football at the same time. I guess back then they got on with life. They all wanted to be pros. The environment is what it is with New Zealand. You know, we're isolated on this side of the world. You know, I think we did well on the world stage when we could with amateurs, but you know, we had 1 or 2 players at the most maybe playing pro. I mean, Winton Rufer was the guy, I guess, that shone the light for everyone. I mean, you know, our greatest player probably ever. You know, if you think about what he did on the world stage, if he was doing that now, it would be a $100 million man. But yeah, the evolution of players getting overseas, I guess in time, you know, there were players that 1 or 2 started to go, and more, and I guess the beauty of the game now, it's in a way a little bit more accessible because of video, travel, time, you know, word of mouth gets around better. You know, you touched on Kakacha and that Saprit Singh as well. I remember they came through a National League phase in New Zealand where we produced these top players that have now gone on to incredible careers, you know, and a long time left in their careers, you know, which is so good for the country, for New Zealand national team to have this quality there. I mean, we've got a group of players that it's hard to make selections, you know, and that's difficult for the coaching staff and that, but it's great to have that. You know, getting those players to that level it shows that, you know, there's a group of people in New Zealand that are putting the effort into younger players, and the players themselves are seeing that dream come true, which is great, and I think what it means for us in the future. I mean, look, everyone around the world is improving as well, but we have definitely improved a lot with quality players, and it just means that we can, you know, I hope that we can perform on the world stage, you know, even better we did in the past. And when I was growing up, I sort of looked at Winton or those couple of guys that were overseas for inspiration, plus, you know, watching all the other top leagues in the world. But, you know, hopefully 2010 was an inspiration to many people, and I think it was. And that's what this group now can. I think they're already doing that. You know, as I mentioned, the players are playing at very good levels around the world. Obviously, Chris Wood is doing amazing. You know, we've got a lot of young players doing really well as well. So hopefully they're inspiring, and qualifying for this World Cup just takes it to another notch, where younger guys at that age, guys and girls and players at that age, now they're coming through the clubs in New Zealand, will see us on the world stage playing with top players. So again, you know, at the World Cup playing against top teams. So, you know, that's part of the responsibility and the task, I guess, of the national team to do, to help inspire the next generation coming through. You know, for these guys leading into this March thing, it's about enjoying the moment, you know, working away at making a dream come true for them. They all would have thought about playing a World Cup. Keep that focus to get there, and then and hopefully go into that tournament as we did, you know, not only enjoying the moment, but making New Zealanders proud, and kids coming through, giving them inspiration to be that next team, part of that next team, or part of that future team that can do it. We're gonna take on the world.